Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I wanted to talk to you about my kit. So basically anything that I use to create content online. So if you don't know me, my name is Nicole. I'm Canadian. I just moved to England and I've been doing Instagram and YouTube for a while now. Now, my YouTube is something that is more so just a passion of mine. It hasn't grown as much as my Instagram has. And still in the whole terms of Instagram, my Instagram is still quite small. But with that being said, as I've connected with more bloggers and YouTubers and people that are trying to grow their online influence, I get a lot of questions about my kit and what I use to edit, how I edit, things like that, what type of like tech things I have. It's all down there, that's why I'm pointing to it, that I thought it would be a cool time to tell you guys what I use, how I use it, not necessarily a tutorial on how I use it, but just a general basic overview in this video. So the other thing is that I think now, you know, it gets kind of awkward when you're talking about money online especially, but it's at the point now where my online income has now surpassed my full-time income at my job. Now I will still be staying at my job for the next foreseeable future just for visa reasons. Quite honestly, if I want to stay here in the UK, I just kind of want to make sure that I have all of those options available to me. But that being said, I do think that I've kind of got a knack for it and I'm just working on perfecting my skills at this point. So I thought it would be a good time to share a little bit of my knowledge and tools with you. Anyways, if you're a blogger and this is your jam, I would love if you keep on watching. Obviously, if you're still here, it's probably because you're somewhat interested in this, so let's get into it. All right, so the first thing that I'm gonna show you guys, it's a no-brainer, everyone has one, it is just my phone. Now, I have an iPhone 6 SE, and let me tell you, I need a new phone so incredibly bad. That being said, it still does the trick. There's certain apps that I like to use on here if I'm editing on the go, but I really try not to do that anymore because I am trying to make my feed more cohesive. And with that said, I'm not going to talk about it too much because I will go into it a little bit further, but with that said, I do most of my editing in Lightroom, and it's a program that you have to either buy outright or have a monthly subscription for. Anyways, so I just wanted to say to you that you can make some pretty amazing content just on your phone. There's tons of tutorials out there, but it's the most cliche quote, but I've heard it so many times that the best camera that you have is the one that you have with you. So if you're looking to get started in the online space, use your phone, learn editing apps that can help heighten the quality of the picture and learn how to use it properly. Sometimes I think if you learn how to use the most basic of tools properly first, it really helps you when you're using the more advanced ones. All right, now the second thing that I have in here, you will sometimes see in some of my flat lays, but it is just this Instax mini Polaroid camera. Now I absolutely love using Polaroids in some of my flat lays. I think it just kind of gives like a little bit of a cool vibe, and you can totally get a little bit artsy with this. So even though it is not something that creates digital content, it is something that you can still totally use in your content creation online. All right, so the next thing that I have is just this little tripod. I don't think it's called a Gorilla Pod, but I think that's what it was like ripped off of. But it's just off Amazon. I'll be honest, my ex-boyfriend had bought me this for my last vlogging camera, and you just basically screw it onto the bottom of the camera, but you're able to wrap it around anything that you want and then have it set up, and you could be vlogging off that and using it as a tripod, or setting a timer and then using it as a tripod. I do find that these little bobbles get quite distorted, and then it makes it really kind of hard to set the camera up. But that being said, it is so incredibly useful. I should probably talk about my vlogging camera. So I've just picked this guy up this past month, and it's the Canon G7X. Honestly, the only thing that I will say about this one is I do find it quite heavy. And obviously it's not as heavy as my DSLR, and obviously it's a lot more compact than that. So again, the camera that you have with you is gonna be the best camera. That being said, if I don't have my phone with me, I'll have this with me, and if I don't have this with me, I've got the big camera with me, but I am loving it for everything else beyond that. I'm still obviously learning how to navigate it, but if you see that I've been vlogging recently, it is all done with this guy. All right, right, so let's talk batteries. So obviously my Canon G7X came with a battery, and the camera that I'm filming on right now came with a battery. I did buy a spare battery for my big DSLR. Honestly, you guys, the more batteries that you have, the better, because it sucks when you want to go shoot something and then you don't have a battery for it. Now you can buy like no-name batteries or knockoff batteries, and they work just as well. I hear they don't last as long, but so I have one no-name one and then one Canon one, and then for my G7X I just have the normal one, but the battery, or not the normal one, the one that came with the kit, the battery has lasted quite a long time on that, so I'm not too worried. But yeah, for the camera that I'm filming on right now, oh my gosh, it runs out so fast. Now, chargers. So the Canon G7X obviously came with a charger, and the camera that I'm filming on came with a charger, but I did lose it. And at that point, I had to go buy new chargers. Now, this is my Canadian charger, and this is my UK charger. Both of them are chargers that you can use with any kind of battery. So I really like that, because if I need to charge my Canon G7X, I can do it on here. If I need to charge my DSLR, I can do it on here. And same with this guy. So if you have it in your budget, I don't think that they were like very much. I think this one was 20 pounds and this one was like $10. But if you have it in your budget to get, like, I don't think it's called a universal charger, but I think you get where I'm going with it. If you have that extra budget, I would highly recommend getting one of these. All right, so obviously the camera that I'm filming on right now is on a tripod. But there was once upon a time I used to stack chairs and then boxes and then books and then have the camera on there. I should have just spent the money on a tripod, quite honestly, but I did invest in one of these guys as well. Now these guys don't bend the way that the little one does, but you still can set it on things. Now there's a video that I did at a like vintage shop. I just kept on placing this all around the stores to still get those shots. Same thing with, there's like a secondhand luxury store here in Bristol, and I didn't have anyone to go with me to film, so I just used this guy and set it up around the shop. That having a small tripod is so incredibly useful, I cannot even tell you. All right, so last but not least, I wanted to talk to you about my laptop. This laptop is so old, you guys. I believe it's from 2012. My ex-boyfriend had got it for me. I'm still so grateful, even though we don't talk about him. I'm so grateful because this thing has totally seen me through like you wouldn't believe. Now, some of the apps that I use on here to edit videos, I still use iMovie. I really do need to move up to Final Cut Pro though. As I mentioned earlier, I use Lightroom. Those are the editing apps and software that I primarily use when it comes to creating content. As you just heard, they are like the most basic level programs out there. The other program that I use if I'm making a thumbnail, I use Canva. So those are like the most basic programs that you can get started with. For me, I am ready to move on to something else. But quite honestly, this MacBook is on its last legs. There's not very much space on it. And when I get those programs, I would like to move up to a iMac. So that's kind of what I'm holding out for. But I do think that having an Apple makes things a lot easier and a lot more cohesive, unless you're making like films. Because I have heard that getting a custom built PC is best for that. So, but I don't think you'd be watching this video if that's what you're getting into this for. Now, back in Canada, I did have a set of softbox lights that I never even plugged in once. It was such a waste. But to be honest, I will probably repurchase them with like a UK plug-in once we get an area to properly film in, especially when the sun is going down so fast already. So that's something I'll probably repurchase again, and a ring light, just because I know filming in an area that is typically gloomy and gets dark really early, I'm gonna need that extra added support. But the last thing that I wanted to show you guys is just my big camera and big tripod. But obviously I can't film on the same camera when I'm showing it to you, so I'm just going to start taking some footage on here for you and just walk you through what I have there. All right, so I thought I would start from the bottom up. So basically this is a tripod.
obviously. But what I like about this tripod is that you can like use the different points of extension. Does that make sense? So sometimes I like use all these guys, but you can also extend it just from that middle piece right there. So I don't really remember what brand this is, and that's all that it says there. Is that even a brand? I have no idea, but I will try and find something similar and link it down below. Excuse my mess over there. Anyways, you can tilt this up like this. So if you're wanting to get like a shot where it's like directly below, this is how I do most of my stop motions. And I love that this camera had the flip screen. That's kind of why I had gone with it. And it was a great introductory camera. My mom thankfully bought it for me. I was so grateful. And then this, I'm jumping all over the place, sorry guys. This guy here will like help you adjust the camera, like if you wanna have it up this way or down. So that's super cool. And then yeah, back to the camera. It's pretty basic. I mean, I keep on saying how the best camera that you have is the one that you have on you. I'm also a firm believer that you don't need to buy the most expensive camera right away, because chances are you don't know how to use this one properly. So I still use this guy, and I'm learning to use this guy, and it's crazy how many things it can do that I just have no idea of. Now this is what the front of it looks like. So this was just the kit lens that it came with. Basically it like zooms in and out really far. Who would ever use it like that though? So that's super sweet. Now the only thing that I struggle with this one is using it in manual mode. I'm still learning how to do that one. If I'm gonna shoot video, like I don't think this one lets you shoot video in manual unless I'm like not knowing how to set it right. But if I'm wanting to like shoot video in manual mode, I have to use my 50mm lens, which I don't know if I've shown you guys yet. But yeah, basically this is just the Canon T6i. I think there's even a newer one out now, but this has served me good. I'm gonna continue to use it and then maybe get another lens, and then from there I'll probably move up to a different camera body, but right now I am still loving it.
All right, so now that I've showed you basically what the camera body looks like, the lens looks like, that is the lens that came with the camera. I've showed you the tripod, which I bought. Didn't come with the camera, wasn't a part of the kit. I thought I would show you the only other lens that I have. This is a Yongnuo digital lens. So basically it is just a 50 milliliter. I was gonna say milliliter. It is just a 50mm lens. So you know when you see those shots and it's like super blurry in the background, I know it's a little bit blurry back there, but you know that super nice blur, that typical blogger photo? Most of that is taken with this lens or a lens like it. Now the only thing that sucks with this lens is that because there's no zoom on it, everything becomes super close up. So really I only use this lens if I'm trying to kind of get a more artsy shot. Because if I have to take it from really far away, I feel like, I don't know, it doesn't give the blur that I'm looking for. Like, I don't know, there's a very small margin of what I use this lens for. I'll find some pictures and show to you like examples of when I use this lens, or you can just look it up online. But it is good to have. I'm still learning to navigate it. I bought it off of Amazon and it was like just a cheap alternative version to a Canon 50mm lens. Oh, I totally forgot. The other thing that I have, but it didn't work, is I do have a remote for the camera. So if I'm sitting here and I'm trying to do a self-portrait, I can just click it and then it'll take the picture. However, it didn't work. So I have it. I think I should throw it out. I don't know if it's like the remote that doesn't work or if it was the battery that was like screwed on it, but I think it was just $5 off Amazon. So I might just buy another one anyways. Anyways guys, that is it for this video. I know it's not the typical thing that you see on my channel here, but as I've gotten so many questions about it recently, I thought I would just put it all in one spot. That being said, some of the pictures that you do see online, I have worked with a photographer. Sometimes my friends would take my pictures, sometimes like one of my good friends, Nicole, she was my photographer. And then since being here in Bristol, I've started to work with a few photographers. Now, if you ever are wondering that, I will have them tagged on my picture on Instagram, so you'll kind of know what pictures they took. But if you don't see anyone tagged in it, it is done with my camera. And I mean, I should probably insert some pictures for you in this video to show you what this camera and what my Canon G7X can take as well. So yeah, I'll probably insert a picture of the Canon and what it can do now. And this is what the G7X can do. But again, the best camera that you have is the one that you have on you. So if you enjoyed this video, I would love if you hit that like button. If you are new to blogging and YouTube and all that, all of these things are going to be linked down below. You can totally check them out if they fit your budget. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you're new here, my name is Nicole. I make videos here on YouTube every now and then. I would love if you subscribe. So anyways, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.